What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Bell's Brewery, and they're out of both Kalamazoo and Comstock, Michigan, and this is their Kalamazoo Stout. So they're calling this one a stout brewed with a brewer's licorice. It comes in at 6% alcohol by volume, 51 IBUs at the time of review. I believe this bottle is just under 5.5 months old, and that's because this has a best by date of February 26th of 2024, and right above that it says shelf life 6 months. So I'm assuming this was bottled at the end of August of 2023, and I'm reviewing this one towards the beginning of February of 2024. Therefore, just under 5.5 months old, I think. Could be wrong. Pretty sure I'm not. Anyway, Kalamazoo Stout. Full disclosure, I've had this beer once before, and that was back in, I want to say it was probably late 2013 into 2014. I'm pretty sure because that's when Bell's started getting distribution into New York State. And I remember buying like all of their core and year-round beers along with whatever seasonals when they showed up, and this was one of them. And I remember this one being pretty solid for just an American stout. They brew it with brewer's licorice. I don't remember the anise kind of quality or the black licorice quality. This one being like, overdone or anything. It was fine. It was a good beer. I enjoyed it. So I have not revisited this beer until now, and I'm pretty excited. So I picked this one up, and we're going to get into it. Now, it also says on the label, original 88 recipe. So I think Bell's first started like officially in like 1985, but this is like one of the earlier releases from them. One of their, again, core range beers year-round in the year-round lineup that they still sell, and they must sell well because it's still kicking, and it's just a stout, 6%. So anyway, they do have a spiel on the back that I will read towards the end of the review if I remember. A lot of times I don't, so sometimes I forget. But we will. It's just a couple sentences, nothing too big. A little cheap. All right, so that looks beautiful. If you're talking about an American stout, that looks fucking beautiful in the glass. Absolutely fantastic looking beer. So it has, like, when I poured it, it was definitely, close to pitch black, maybe a very, very dark brown. In the glass, it's pitch black. I don't even get any like brown or ruby red hints at the bottom. On camera, it's gonna look pitch black. About a finger of this straight up brown colored head. It kind of looks similar to how I probably drink my coffee. I don't put a lot of, I don't put sugar in my coffee anymore, just some cream at this point. And that's kind of what it looks like to some degree. It has a nice creaminess to the head. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful beer in general. I just love the look of it. Let's get a nose. So this is right out of my darker beer fridge. I keep it 54, so it's already, do they say what to drink it at? A lot of breweries do. They do not. But usually with my darker beers, so like American Stout here, I usually drink them between like 50 and 55. I keep that fridge at 54. Sometimes fluctuates between like 52 and like 55. So this is probably appropriate drinking temperature for how I like my beers. And it's beautiful on the nose. So it's like mocha vibes, but like more of a bittering mocha. Like it's more baker's chocolate with like a medium roast coffee. So it doesn't smell like it's going to be, quite sweet. Definitely a roasted malt in there. Not much of a licorice. It's more of like a generic dark fruit I'm getting, like maybe like a little black cherry or like a plum. There's a decent hop character. Now, it's not overly hoppy, but it has like this earthiness, slight like kind of pine tinge. It smells pretty good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. This reminds me of a little less bitter Obsidian Stout from Deschutes, which I reviewed towards the end of 2023. It's just really well made, and it has a little bit, more of a bittering note to it. But that Obsidian Stout was a little bit more hop forward than this, but this does have a decent smack of hops on the back of the palate on the finish. Anyway, body mouthfeel. Body's like medium, higher side of medium, impressive at 6%. Like it has a really nice. This beer, I think for like the ABV would be, they would say full body perhaps. For myself, I'd say this is higher side of medium body. It's still really nice though, impressive body. The mouthfeel, it has a moderate carbonation. It's crisp on the palate, but it does have a smoothness and slight creaminess to it. So it's really nice. The taste, I think the Obsidian Stout, and I don't know why I'm comparing it. I do that sometimes and I shouldn't, but just that's like one of the few American stouts like in the back of my mind that I can think of that I've had recently. So I think it's just like human nature to do that. That beer was a little bit more complex. This is a little less complex as far as the characteristics of the beer go, but I think it's a bit easier to drink. So right at the forefront, roasted malt. There is a baker's chocolate. There's a little bit of like caramel and toffee underlying. There's a nice medium kind of roasted coffee as well. A touch of dark fruits. Passes through, I get a hint of that licorice. So if you're somebody who has a disdain for black licorice or anise, like you probably wouldn't buy this because it says brewer's licorice. I went to go, I just hit my, I don't know what I'm doing. I would say pick up a single if you could, you know, if it's possible in your neck of the woods. If that was a deterrent to you ever purchasing this beer. Because I don't think the licorice is really anything more than just like an accentuating character of this beer. Maybe if you're a little bit more susceptible, picking up those flavors, a little bit more sensitive, you might, but I don't think so. We're all different though, so perhaps. And then on the finish, earthy with a little bit of like pine, like a pine sap kind of hop character. This finish is moderately bitter, with a dry finish. So this is definitely not a sweet American Stout, or it doesn't even lean sweet. It definitely leans bitter and drying. So I think, again, like the Obsidian was a little bit more bitter with more like character from the beer itself. And this has a little less character as far as the beer goes, but it's not as bittering. They're both really nice beers. I think I like the Obsidian a little bit better than this, but I think this is really well made and nice. Yeah, it's a solid American Stout. I could... If I went over somebody's house and they had this and they were like, hey, you want a beer? I'm like, yeah. And they handed me this. Yeah, I'm drinking it. No questions to ask. Really nice stuff. I enjoy this one quite a bit. It's not amazing, but I think it's pretty solid. Yeah, so 6%, you really can't taste it. 51 IBUs, I think, are appropriate. It's probably in like the 50-60 realm based on what I'm perceiving on the palate. And yeah, Kalamazoo, Joe. Yeah, Kalamazoo, where they're originally from. Kalamazoo Stout from Bell's. I have absolutely no issues giving this beer right here. I'm going to give this a low 4 out of 5 and go 3.95. That's where I think this one lands. A well-made American Stout with brewer's licorice, which doesn't impart a ton of black licorice anise kind of characteristics, at least for me personally. Let me know if it does for you. You know, if anybody who posts in the comment section about this beer, if this is like too heavy on the black licorice, let me know. I'd be curious to know who actually picks up on that, and you know, if it deters them from enjoying the beer or even wanting to rebuy this one. Little spiel on the back here. I forgot that they had this. It says, named after the city where it all began. Yeah, Kalamazoo, Michigan. Kalamazoo Stout, Kalamazoo Stout is one of our most classic recipes. This smooth, full-bodied, didn't I say they were going to say full-bodied, or they might call it full-bodied? I didn't know they had this on the back, but yeah, full-bodied stout. Again, I'd say higher side of medium, but full-bodied for the ABV. Stout offers a blend of aromas and flavors of dark chocolate. I said more like a baker's bittersweet chocolates, okay. And freshly roasted coffee, sure, balanced with a significant hop presence. I wouldn't say significant, but it's definitely noticeable. So everything they're saying on the back, I don't disagree with. Anyway, price point availability, $11.99 a six-pack in my neck of the woods. If you're in Michigan, you probably get it a buck or two cheaper. If you're other, you know, areas that maybe get Bell's, maybe a little bit more expensive, but $2 for a bottle of this. I think I paid like $2.19 for this. And again, six packs for $12 basically a six-pack. That's fine, 6%, nice flavors, no issue. And availability, I have no idea with Bell's anymore. Probably have a beer finder on their website. Chaz, if you go check the beer finder, it's probably out of date. It might be, I don't know. A brewery like Bell's, you would think a lot of these bigger breweries or bigger regional breweries or whatever you want to call them would have a better beer finder, or you know, some way to know where they distribute, what stores you can get them at, and they're actually, you know, not out of date. I don't know. I didn't check Bell's website, but if anybody out there does check it, like Chaz, let me know. I'd be curious to know where you can find their beers. I just know here in New York State, we've been getting their stuff for a very long time now, 10 years. And yeah, I've enjoyed their beers, and I need to review some more of their like classic stuff, because I still like their amber ale, their, what is it, Lager of the Lakes they have. There's certain beers from them I have not yet reviewed. This is a horrible review as far as me speaking proper English, but reviewed, and some of those I've either never had before or just haven't had in like 10 years like this one. So anyway, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. I really want to know if you've got black licorice or any kind of licorice quality, anise quality. That is the key thing here. I would love to hear somebody be like, yeah, dude, I can't do it. It just tastes like black licorice for me. It's terrible, because I don't really get that. And that's, beer's subjective. Our palates are different. I would love to hear from you. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.